Hello chat, I am Salty, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be using this team that was created by ZeBanded and was used to get top 4 at the Taiwan Master Ball League championship. So the rental code is on screen and will also be in the description, as well as a paste that was taken from Z's Twitter, so that's why I'm sharing this team. So as you can see here, this team features quite a few Pokemon that I'm quite familiar with. So we have Focus Sash, Calyrex, Shadow Rider with Astral Barrage, Psychic and Protect. We have Miraidon with Choice Specs with Volt Switch, Electro Drift, Dazzling Gleam and Draco Meteor. We have Frigoraph with Electric Seed, Psychic. Foul Play helping out Trick Room. We have Assault Vest Ensign with Terra Bug, Flare Blitz Knockoff, U-Turn Fake Out. We have Covert Cloak Whimsicott, Terra Dark, Moonblast, Tailwind, Encore Light Screen, and we have Mystic Water Rapid Strike Urshifu with Sodium Strikes, Aqua Jet, Close Combat and Detect. This is almost like a combination of both my Birmingham team and my EUIC team, so using them both together should be pretty intuitive for me. Obviously congrats to Z for locking in your Worlds invite. I hope you do well there. And this is a very cool team, so I did want to try it out on the ranked ladder. So let's have a look and see how we can do on that with the ladder battles now. Let's see how this gets started. So Koraidon and Instant on their side versus Shadow Rider and Miraidon on mine. So we can get this started by just dealing heavy damage into Koraidon. Unfortunately, this does mean that one of our Pokemon might go down, so I'm just trying to think about what I can do here. Okay, well, we're Focus Sash on Shadow Rider, right? So go for Dazzling Gleam plus Astral. We might get faked out here, but no. They actually go first. That does reveal that they are Scarf Koraidon. Which is definitely an interesting item choice. So they send out Rillaboom here. They do have a way of overwriting our terrain, which is something that I meant to check before I locked in, but I didn't. So now we're just going to unleash Astral Barrage and Dazzling Gleam on our opponent. So that's a good chunk. And then there's Dazzling Gleam. No Hadron Engine boost, but so there's Knockoff. It does do quite a lot to Calyrex, but we do luckily survive as we have the Focus Sash. I don't really want to burn Terra on first turn, so just leaving that for now was fine as a choice, I believe. So now what we can do is switch. We can Dazzling Gleam and we can switch in Frigoraph. We can just prevent all of the priority moves from coming through, such as Grassy Glide and also Fake Out as well. So just stop that right now. Living Legend Frigoraph. There's Fake Out stopped. And then we have Dazzling Gleam come out. Another good chunk of damage. And then there's Parting Shot into Miraidon here. So they're probably going to bring in Lunala, okay. I was going to say a restricted, but I guess that means I'm not wrong. So we can bring in Insyn, and we can foul play the Lunala, or I might want to actually... I'll foul play Lunala here. So Miraidon returns. Bringing Insyn in here allows us to reduce damage output of the Rillaboom, which is quite nice. especially if they go for a U-turn or upward hammer into Frigg here. They're actually going to Terra the Lunala. Okay, it's going to be Terra Fairy. Yeah. Terra Fairy on Lunala is not bad. Let's see how they can do with it. So they're actually going to go for a Calm Mind. So that is one way to increase their defenses. They're actually going to go for a U-turn on us, so quite glad that I went for the Intimidating now. It would have been really nice to actually Psychic that slot, now that I think about it, because if they switch in Koraidon... Was it Koraidon their other restricted? Yeah, it was Koraidon. If they switch in Koraidon, then that would have basically just KO'd it. But they send in Incineroar, so that is the better play, I think. Just to basically confirm that we can't just Psychic that slot. We do end up just using Foul Play, and that is then immediately restored with the Grassy Terrain. So now what we can do is Fake Out and switch into Miraidon. They might knock off our item here, but that should be fine. Yeah, they'll be fine. They won't be able to attack us because we faked out the Lunala here. So they did go for Calm Mind, so they might want to try and get another one off, but this should hopefully prevent that from happening. Here's Miraidon, overriding the terrain. There's Fake Out, so we're not quite breaking the Shadow Shield, but we do make them flinch. And there's Knockoff. So yeah, we do lose our item. That does do quite a bit of damage, but that's now gone. They are using leftovers, so I think we can go for a Knockoff and a Volt Switch here, and we'll be pretty safe. Knockoff allows us to prevent them. Knockoff just allows us to stop them healing as much, and Volt Switch here basically just means that we can either get rid of Incin or we can get rid of whatever switches in, such as Rillaboom. I think everything on their team now is quite low besides the Lunala, so they're really using their health on that restricted quite a lot. So Incin goes down here, allows us to switch the Miraidon out, and I will now be able to bring in the Frigoraph. But admittedly, both my restrictors are quite low health now as well, but it's fine. I'm quite okay with that. So our Electric Seed gives us a boost now, and then our opponent uses Moonblast, probably into, yeah, that's fine. That does work out fine for me. There's Knockoff, so that breaks Shadow Shield and it also removes their leftovers. The critical hit doing quite good there. They do have the Rillaboom in the back. They also, but they send out Koraidon, okay. So that Choice Scarf, which is quite a big problem. I should have Terra'd Incin here, I think, just so I don't go down to a fighting move. Koraidon does use U-turn though, so we actually don't gain much from that. Except we lose our Frigoraph, which is quite annoying. U-turn Choice Scarf is a pain. Here's Rillaboom. Luckily we do still have we do still have the Miraidon, so we are able to get some damage done with that as well. There's Moonblast into Incin. That shouldn't have done anywhere near that much damage. That was insane. But there's Knockoff into Rillaboom. That's to getting rid of it. I think Lunala is going to heal before I... Yeah, Lunala is going to heal before I can get the train away. Luckily I haven't terrored yet, so I think I do need to terror Incin and knock off Koraidon. So let's see. We terror bug, so we do resist it. Knock off Koraidon. Gonna electric drift into Lunala here. This is fine unless they go for like a Flare Blitz or a Flame Charge into Incin. They go for Flare Blitz, but it's into Miraidon. Okay. So now I just need Incin to live the Lunala attack. Switching to Moonblast. Switching Terrors here is probably not great, but we do survive. We get a special attack drop, that's fine, but more importantly we get the knockoff onto Koraidon, so it loses its Choice Scarf. Then we can bring out Calyrex. Now, the real prediction here is if they go for Wide Guard or not. They revealed Dazzling Gleam, Meteor Beam. Right? Yeah, no, Calm Mind. It was Calm Mind. Do we think they're Wide Guard and Calm Mind? They are not wide guarding. They did not wide guard. I now just need to really hope that they targeted down Incin. That is not Incin. Yeah, I should have gone for an Astral Barrage there. It's just because we're playing closed team sheets. I don't know what their Lunala has, so I can't predict it, but yeah. There's no way that KOs, and we just get knocked out to recoil now. That was a close game, I think. Oh wait, we don't get knocked out. We still don't. There's still next turn, which we won't live, but yeah. That was a close game. I think I did pretty well. I should have locked in Astral Barrage at the end there. Maybe I would have had a chance of winning, but overall, it's still a really close game. If we had a best of 3 set, then maybe I could improve on the next game. And if I had an open team sheet, I wouldn't have gone for a Psychic instead of Astral Barrage there. I know I lost, but it's not that bad. So yeah, now on to the next one. Right, so let's see what we have here. We have Grimmsnarl and Urshifu. First up, against my Whims and Miraidon. I don't think there's really much they can do into Miraidon here, so I do really want to just Tailwind and Volt Switch into Incin. Tailwind, Volt Switch. They could Detect and Spirit Break here, which would be quite annoying, but not sure what they want to do. Okay, they would draw Urshifu. They could bring in Treads, which would be bad. There's Tailwind at least. And then there's Light Screen from Grim. Okay, so that's quite annoying. We should have probably targeted into the Grim, predicting that very obvious switch, but they didn't do it. But they did reveal that they only bought one restricted. So that does kind of lead me to believe that they have... Who would they have left back? Probably Ho-Oh, right? Because it's weak to Miraidon. So we're going to switch out Miraidon here to the Incin. This allows us to just reduce the damage output from our opponents a bit, which is always quite nice. And then Moonblast gets a KO on Grim Snarl here, so it's unable to do anything. It did go for Spirit Break or some other attack, which we know due to the fact that it did. It didn't move first because of Prankster, so they send Urshifu back out, which is fine. We can actually just go for I think going for a Moonblast and Fake Out here is probably the best play. I would imagine that their Urshifu is actually Choice Scarf, so okay, they're Terra Water Choice Scarf, that makes sense. Just based on the other items I see on their team, they're a Terra Ghost. Okay, that's really good for them. Very bad for me. Actually, I've got Shadow Rider in the back, so it's actually pretty good. As long as I've got Tailwind up, I'm way faster. So there's Moonblast. Doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as it could have because it is no longer weak to the damage. The Iron Head does take out Whimsicott here, which would normally be a problem, but we do still have Tailwind. They actually go for Coaching here to bring the Iron Treads damage back up. That's fine. We should still have... We should still have the Tailwind for another turn or two. So we actually, how long until 1 turn Tailwind? Train, okay. So now we can go for Astral Barrage, and we can also go for Flare Blitz. We drew Urshifu. They sent out the Miraidon. They've actually used their Terra already, so in an endgame, Terra Fairy Miraidon does look good into theirs. Here's Astral, which does do quite a bit. They are going to be able to get damage off with knockoff here, but we have Focus Sash, which means that we can just hit them in return with a Flare Blitz and get the KO. They are Life Orb, they're not booster, but they have the booster from Electric Train. So now we can get rid of that. Incin does take a bit of recoil, but that's fine. Tailwind does pee her out, which would normally be a problem with an Urshifu. But we can do this. So we're basically just trying to take out Urshifu now because we know it's Scarfed, which is the biggest problem. So we want this. We want... we really need Incin to survive here. There's Electro Drift. Come on. Nice. Okay, we do survive, which means we're able to get the knockoff down into the Urshifu, which does get the KO. If it didn't get a KO, it would still lower its speed down to the point where we were able to outspeed it with the Miraidon in the back. They do have electric. They have locked into Electro Drift. They are probably Choice Scarf, Choice Spec, sorry, like our one. That is usually the items. Considering we've seen Choice Scarf, we've seen Life Orb. It's probably Specs, which means I want to stay as an electric type, and I want to go for Dazzling Gleam here. And I don't want to use knockoff on them. If I Terra here, I do then lose, because Electro Drift does get the KO if you Terra Teferi, but it doesn't if you're Electric Dragon type still, due to the fact that Electric does resist itself. They do go for Electro Drift here, so I imagine that's into the Incin, which was actually one of their ways of winning in order for me to knock off their item. So now I just go for Dazzling Gleam. It is single target, and we do get the knockout. Nice. And yeah, we're able to win quite well with that. Being able to outspeed our opponents definitely helped. The Tailwind from Whimsicott, which is one of the reasons why I like Whimsicott so much. I think that battle went quite well. So that is going to be it for my use of this team. I did really enjoy it. I really enjoy Calyrex, and if I was going to change anything on this team personally, I would just put Chiyu in instead of Incineroar, and that's mostly because I just love Chiyu. And that's basically what I did with the Arubega base team anyway, which it seems this team is plays quite similarly to with most of the Pokemon on as well. Overall, great team, really enjoyed it. So that's going to be it for the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like down below, and if you want to see my videos as soon as they're uploaded, subscribe, as I do try and post as much as possible. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.